Good morning and welcome to our live talk program. This is Lloyd Grubb here, your host on Revive Reform Radio, doing our live talk program covering natural health on this your Wednesday morning. Rise and shine and give God the glory. And this morning here, we're looking at the topic. Yes, it is true you're deficient in nutrients. Yes, it is true you're deficient in nutrients is what we're talking about here this morning as we do our live talk program. And we'll be looking at some articles and just sharing some things that are going on in the world today when it comes on to nutrients. And so, yes, it is true you're deficient in nutrients, and that might be a bad thing, but that's also something to get you proactive and get going in taking care of your needs. And so, welcome again to our live talk program. Hopefully, you had a blessed night rest and just top of the morning to you. Thanks for joining me here. Let's pray. Thank you, Lord, again for the blessings of your word, for the blessings of knowing thee, the only true God. We thank you, dear Lord, for the things that you put in life, whether it be through the word, through the spoken word, through nutrients in the soil, in the air, nutrients in the water, nutrients in the plants, that you constantly try to build us up and make us better. I pray, dear Lord, that you may continue to guide us in this way, that we might see the abundance and the plenty that you produce. May you be with us, we pray, for Christ's sake. Amen. So we're looking here at this topic. Yes, it is true you are deficient in nutrients. And so that's what I want to look. I want to share this little article, latest research that has come out about supplements. And then I want to share with you a recipe as an example as how you can boost your nutrients on a daily basis as you partake of food 2, 3, even 4 times a day. And so this is what I want to share with you here. And before I get into that, though, there's a little article that I wanted to share that is in the health spectrum, and it's something that was big in the news about 4 years ago. And so I wanted to just do a quick hit and just read this little article as just an update as to something I remember was in the news, and I remember kind of fell out the news, and I wanted to just probably pique our jumpstart your memory here. So this first article here is not anything to do with my topic, which is yes, it is true you are deficient in nutrients. No, that's my topic. I'm going to get to that in a few minutes. I just wanted to share this little piece with you before I get to my main topic. So it's entitled "They're Not God," which is a quote from a mother of a girl declared dead twice. She criticizes doctor. This is about Nayla Winfield, who refused to accept California doctor's declaration that her daughter was brain dead. Said she kept up her fight because of her fate. And so this crossed our path in both ways. After refusing, this is from Oakland, California. This is here, Associated Press. After refusing for more than 4 years to accept California doctor's conclusion that her comatose daughter was brain dead, Nayla Winfield forcefully told mourners at her daughter's funeral service last week to stop letting doctors pull the plug on your people. The congregation at Acts Full Gospel Church in Oakland gave Winfield a standing ovation on Friday for fighting to keep her daughter on life support and taking on the medical establishment in the brain death debate between science and religion. A California coroner issued a death certificate in January 2014 for Jahi McMath, then 13, after doctors said she died of irreversible brain damage during a routine surgery to remove her tonsils in December 2013. So I wish you could see the picture here, because if you saw the picture, you probably remember the girl. It's a Black American young girl that was about 13, and the picture was always with her with a big smile. And it was a big news for, I think, a few months, and then it kind of fall off the radar. So this is 4 years later. Winfield refused to accept California's doctor's conclusion and took her daughter to New Jersey, a state that accommodates religion that don't recognize brain damage. The girl was kept on life support and received nursing care until New Jersey doctors declared her dead June 22nd, saying McMath, then 17, died of excessive bleeding after an abdominal operation. New Jersey doctors issued her death certificate the same day. My daughters, this is from the mother Winfield, my daughter should not have died in New Jersey. She should have died in California. Winfield has filed two lawsuits in California, both of which seek to invalidate the state's death certificate. Winfield's attorney, Chris Nolan, said the New Jersey death certificate should strengthen Winfield's legal position. She is suing the doctors and Children's Hospital of Oakland for medical malpractice, alleging that surgeons botched what should have been a routine tonsillectomy. Damages in California for so-called non-economic harm in medical malpractice cases for pain and suffering and the like are capped at $250,000 when the patient dies. The hospital and Winfield were wrangling over that in court when New Jersey issued its death certificate. Dolan has also filed a federal civil rights lawsuit which seeks to invalidate California death certificate. Winfield said at the funeral service that she kept up with her fight because of her deep Christian belief that her daughter was alive and could respond to her name being called and simple commands of wiggle a finger or toe. She criticized the doctor who insisted that her daughter was dead and said she was fighting to eliminate brain death as a diagnosis. Quote from Winfield again, "Stop letting them pull the plug on your people. They are not God." End of quote. New Jersey's Medicaid program donation and family members paid the girl's care. Winfield said she sold her California home and drained her savings to keep her daughter on life support. During the service, Winfield was lauded for her determination and strength to disagree with California doctors. Quote, "This is a celebration of a miracle," Bishop Bob Jackson said. It started with her mother not accepting the doctor's conclusion. McMath's body was taken to nearby Hayward for burial. Right, so that's the end of that article there. So you probably remember this case. This was a big case a few years ago, as I say, 2014. I think from 2013 to 2014 when this happened. And I remember, you remember clearly because I think it was at the end of the year in December of 2013. And it was a major case because the question was the issue over brain death. You know, if the doctors declare the person brain dead, should they keep on life support and hope for the best? And as you know, there's been other high-profile cases like this. I think similar, in a different way, but similar. The case with Whitney Houston's daughter. She had brain damage, it seemed, from the drug she was taking and falling in the bathtub. So I don't know what your take on it. It would be good for you if you are registered or if you're a registered user over by revivereform.org. If you could either go on the live the forum or on the live chat and just input there what's your opinion on that. I would like to hear from you. That would be interesting. Do you think that the fight that she did for 4 years to keep her daughter on life support was in vain, or was it a good thing because she believed that the Lord could either work a miracle or that because some part of the child brain was working, that means the whole brain could ultimately work? Well, what do you think on that? What would you do if your child was in that situation or a loved one? Would you go for the doctor's advice and pull the plug? Because it's something that by not all of us face this, but many people will face this ultimately. A decision to make, pulling the plug or not, and under what circumstance, because it's one thing for a child, it's another thing for an older person. A person is 90 and they declare brain dead. it's probably a foregone conclusion. But what do you do when it's a child? So I wanted to share that with you, because that's important for you to think about, because stuff like this happen. As I said, this was a routine tonsillectomy. So this is why I think it's so important to discuss, especially with your family, your children, your spouse. What would you do? Because as I say, these things happen, and it can be such a easy, something straightforward that doctors do all the time, but stuff can go wrong. And so if it happens, what would you do for your child? So again, I move from that. As I say, if you're registered, or if you're not, go ahead and register over to Revive Reform, hit up the forum, or especially the chat room, and drop me a note. I'll check it later after I finish this program. If you listen later, for the replay or the podcast on this program, just go ahead and still do that. So important point there, important for you to discuss always with your spouse what happened if you are in that situation. Do you want to be kept on life support, or you want the plugs to be pulled? Remember, you have to express these things to your loved ones before you get to these things, to that point, because these things can happen. Stuff happens, right? In various different ways. So our topic again, as I said, is yes, it is true. You are deficient in nutrients. So I'm declaring this on you, that you listening to me, every single one of you here this morning, is deficient in nutrients, and it is true. And so I'm going to read the article, and then I'm going to talk about this thing. I'm going to talk about it along the way in the article, and then I'm going to share with you a recipe in a second. So this article is entitled "Vitamin Supplements Don't Lower Heart Risk, Study Finds," and this is written by again Maggie Fox over there at NBC News, and it continues to say that the latest study confirms earlier research showing that vitamins and mineral supplements are a waste of money for most people. Now, that for most people will be clarified later on in the article. There's even more evidence supplements are a waste of money. A new study published today confirmed early research showing that people who take supplements, including vitamins and minerals, do little or nothing to reduce their risk of heart disease. It joins multiple other studies showing that the average healthy person gets no benefits from taking supplements or multivitamins, even those commonly recommended by doctors like calcium and vitamin D. The exception include pregnant women who needs prenatal vitamins, and certain people with vitamin deficiencies or heart disease who gets prescription supplement. So I'll pause there a little bit. Notice now that the most, when it says here earlier in the article, in the beginning here, that waste of money for most people. So they're saying there, women on prenatal vitamins, certain people with vitamin deficiency, and heart disease who get prescription supplement. So as I say, I'm not going to read this article one time through. I'm going to take it piece by piece. So if you listen to me here, you know that I'm not a big proponent of taking multivitamins. So getting like a vitamin bottle and take 1,000 units of every single vitamin that they can put in that capsule or that tablet. So I'm not a supplement promoter. You never hear me here promoting supplement. I just don't talk about it. Because most supplements are chemical derived, they're coal tar derived, and coal tar in itself is just basically taking something that can be very dangerous for you. And that's one thing. And over the years they have improved even in regular supplement, I might say, by trying to make them ionic. Trying to find the citrate or the malate or different type of way to make the body be able to absorb it. So anyhow, that thing is an ongoing development. But notice here in the article as we begin that it is stated that prenatal vitamins. Now, as my topic is, yes, it is true you are deficient in nutrients. So you are deficient in nutrients, either one or two or multiple. So normally a mother having a child, it is almost guaranteed that the child, the birthing process or the whole, pregnancy process is going to suck so much nutrients that she's just going to need a whole barrage of nutrients. So that tells you that even for that process, most women don't have enough in them system, right? So that's just one of the pieces of evidence here to confirm, because I'm using the article to confirm that you are deficient in nutrients and you need to boost your nutrients. I just believe you should do it naturally, as natural as possible. Now, prenatal vitamins, certain people with vitamin deficiency. So if you go to the doctor say to you, you're deficient in calcium. You have multiple ways to take it. You have, ionic calciums. You have food that are high in calcium. And you have a calcium supplement. But that's specific. Notice again, you know exactly what supplement you're deficient in. Because as you're taking a multivitamin, it is giving you every supplement that you might not be deficient in, and that could cause a problem. And most naturally, you want to basically get the supplement as natural a form as what your body's supposed to receive it. So that said, so here you go and check it out, you'll find that you're going to be deficient in something. How do you remedy that? You want to do the most natural way, but if you're in an emergency, probably you're going to have to go and use one of these type of supplement, but not a multiple barrage of it, because you're probably just deficient in one or two or three or whatever it is. Depends on your diet also. Also notice here, it says and heart disease, or you have a heart disease and you get prescription supplement. That means there's something that's so deficient in your body that your heart not working, and your doctor have to write your supplement. So that alone tells you right there that a person could be taking a supplement for the heart because the heart uses certain chemicals or certain vitamins more than the other, but they're not necessarily deficient in that supplement, so that's not going to really help them. So unless the doctor say, look, you're deficient in this specific thing and it's affecting your heart, it's not necessary that you need supplements per se because you have heart disease. Because where I'm going to go and say later on, and I say now also, just to make that point more clear, is that say your heart problem is coming from you're clogged up, you eat too much fried food, deep fried food, and too much red meat. Taking any type of supplement is not a solution for that problem, period. You might be deficient in something else, and you might need some supplementation or some natural food with high nutrients in it for your problem. But the vitamins and minerals not going to solve you being 100 pounds overweight. It's just not going to do it for you. You're deficient. You need a prescription for exercise and for cutting out red meat, cutting out deep fried food, and so forth and so on. You need to go on a dietary change. So this is where I think the problem is, where a person just kind of believe that I could just go pop a pill and it's a one bullet, magic bullet that fixes all problems, when the problem can be very specific. You could just have one nutrient that you're deficient in, and until your diet and you figure out other ways to fix that nutrient problem, probably you have to go do a supplementation. You could go to the doctor say, no, I'm about to write your prescription. Your illness is coming from such a massive deficiency in that thing, that one particular thing. So that's where I'm going. Obviously, you probably get the point there. So continue reading. We meticulously evaluated the body of evidence, of scientific evidence. Dr. Jones Hyuk Kim, assistant professor of cardiology at the University of Alabama in Birmingham, who led the review team, we found no clinical benefit of multivitamin and mineral used to prevent heart attack, stroke, or cardiovascular death, he said in a statement. So as they look at it, he's saying, I don't see how a multivitamin is going to fix that. Which I don't know why I don't even know people take multivitamins for this problem, cardiovascular problem. It's just multivitamins don't work like that. I just can't see it in my mind. There's no information in my head that if a person was having a cardiac or circulatory problem, in any cardiovascular problem, I couldn't see how taking a multivitamin, how is it going to help, much less even know why they do this review. Kim's team reviewed 18 big, solid scientific study published from 1970 to 2016, covering more than 2 million people who were followed for the average of 18 years. There was no associated benefit between multivitamin and mineral supplementation and cardiovascular disease mortality, they wrote in their report published in the American Heart Association journal Circulation, Cardiovascular Quality and Outcome. Quote from Kim, it has been exceptionally difficult to convince people, including nutritional researchers, to acknowledge that multivitamin and mineral supplements don't prevent cardiovascular disease. I hope our study findings help decrease the hype around multivitamin and mineral supplements and encourage people to use proven methods to reduce the risk of cardiovascular diseases, such as eating more fruits and vegetables, exercising, avoiding tobacco. So we pause there. That's where I thought everybody was at. That it's if you smoke, your risk of dying of a cardiac arrest or having a stroke is increased. If you drink, you have higher risk of cardiovascular type problems. If you what did he say here? If you if you don't exercise, you have a high risk of having cardiovascular problem. If you have a lot of fat around your midsection of your body, you have a high risk of cardiovascular problem, heart attack, stroke, just by having a lot of fat right in the midsection of your body. This is why you see when people have a beer gut, they have a high risk of stroke and stuff like that. So when you look at this, you see those are the obvious risks. So let's imagine now a person who is definitely deficient in nutrients, but not necessarily deficient in nutrients that has, that is gonna per se affect their heart. Is gonna take some multivitamin for a heart problem, and even take some minerals and stuff like that. But their problem is that they're having a lot of caloric intake, but not nutrient intake. Because you can eat all day long food that has high calories, so you get big and fat and you look stout. You look like your heart is just filled with lard. And you're not healthy because the vitamins and mineral content in your body is very low. Taking a multivitamin is not going to help that. As I say, just imagine now a diet. First in the morning, donut, coffee, bagels, cream cheese, coffee. That's morning. Now in that, there's nothing there. There are actually more things to kill you in that setup that I just said than there are things to keep you healthy. And that's the breakfast. An egg McMuffin breakfast. Nothing there. I guess you're going to get some protein and stuff from the egg and fat and carb. But there's no nutrients to keep you healthy. And that's a deficient diet. There's almost nothing in there nutrient-wise. So a person doing that, yes, it is true they're deficient in nutrients. No, chemical vitamins are not going to solve that problem because it's a whole bunch of minerals and vitamins and stuff that you're trying to chemically put in the person. I would never even discount that probably for 3 months to a year or so that it might help, but certainly you have to start finding some natural sources. Long term, it will not help. So keep going here. So the person goes to lunch now and they probably eat a sandwich. I say that sandwich is a burger. What is in that burger? Probably a slice of tomato and two pieces of lettuce. If they get lucky and they start getting fanciful, they probably have some onions or something. Nothing there again. Nothing. It is the person now is half dead. Then you go to dinner and and who knows what the person is going to eat for dinner. Nothing again. And I could go through a whole list of stuff that people eat for dinner. Nowadays, you can even have, as I say, they're doing breakfast menu all day. You can have pancakes for dinner. You can imagine having pancakes for dinner. So this person here who's eating like this is deficient, but also they're clogged up with all that fat, all that lard, all that deep fried soy oil, where everything is deep fried in restaurants. You eat that and you go through your day and you start going deranged because your brain is dying for nutrients. Your brain is filled with all these hormones from all this crazy food. So the heart is that didn't do anything for the heart. So now the person saying, well, after I ate like that, I'm gonna get all my supplementation from coal tar derived vitamins. So somebody get a backhoe, they dig up the coal tar from the earth, they synthesize out of that tar each vitamin, and they say, here you go, here's vitamin A. You can get this from big industrial chemical companies. And you take now a synthesis of the ground, just tar, and you take it in the amount and you say, that's my chemical supplement. This is not even, to me it's better if they grow up rocks and give it to you, because at least you know we're one step away from rocks. This is a synthesis of coal tar. And you take that and you say, I'm good for the day. I've all my nutrients for the day. And in 3 meals, you skip all your nutrients. So, yes, under this circumstance, the person is deficient in nutrients. And they have to remedy that, but multivitamin will not. So that's why now you think about that. A person could take a coal tar derived supplement, not a natural food supplements, because there's natural food supplements, but a coal tar derived supplement for how long? Let me see again what this guy said. Said they're looking at research from 1970. So for 45 years, no, for 47 years, a person, or whatever that number is, a person was taking a coal tar derived supplement and he donuts and bagels for breakfast, burgers for lunch, and steak for dinner. And after 45 years, he dropped dead of a stroke or a heart attack. And somebody said, but he took his vitamins. And I'm like, no, he didn't take no vitamins. He's dead. That's why you see most people, they look so decrepit and dried up and ashy, and they look so malnourished, but yet they're fat. They look like they never seen a apple or a mango or a lettuce in their life, but they're taking the multivitamin. So multivitamin is not going to unclog the arteries. Multivitamin is not going to take the inflammation down in our arteries. It's not going to feed the body with chemicals long term. Because I guess the best example of this, before I go back to my article, is I've ever studied or read up about, like, if you take 2 apple trees and you grow one with chemical vitamins, coal tar derived chemical from the major industrial chemical companies. When I say vitamins, they call it fertilizer. So if you take one apple tree, grow it with chemical fertilizer, right? Or I should say you should take 3 apple trees now. So the first apple tree, chemical fertilizer, you grow that. And then you take the second one and you grow it in. Just throw it in the ground and just make it grow. Just dig a hole, plant it, let it grow. Then you take a third one and you say dig a deep hole. You fill it with all kind of rocks and, good soil and everything like that. And you mulch, you take, good soil that is nutrient rich and compost and everything like that. You put it around that and then you feed it. Over the years, you keep mulching it and feeding it at the roots. The first one with the chemicals fertilizer, in the initial state, probably for the first 3 years, I think they said, or 4, will grow faster and produce more denatured fruits. The conventional fruits that will buy that's mealy and taste terrible, it will grow faster in the beginning. The one just thrown in the ground, it will grow slow because it just I've got no care. And the one with the Organic stuff will grow slower but stronger. The organic one with the good nutrients, natural nutrients, over the long term, I think they say after 7 years, will start producing more fruits. The one with the chemical fertilizer will produce less fruits after the 7 year period. I think it is after the four. Can't remember what I was reading years back. And what it is, the fertilizer one will be less nourishing. The fruits will be more mealy and less nutrient rich and nutrient dense because it's pulling from nothing, just chemical. After a while, the chemical doesn't have as much effect on it. So you can, cold or derived, I guess, can trick the body for a period of time. But long term, the nutrients will stop working and you're going to have to find more natural and more natural because it is basically it's your long term or the other thing long term too. Long term the fertilizer will poison the soil around it because you keep pouring in that junk. All that chemicals going to poison the soil and ultimately damage the tree. The tree will be anemic after a while. The one in the organic soil will do much better long term. It'll be stronger. It'll be better able to ward off diseases and will produce better, more nutritious fruit. So it is like everything else in life, instant gratification or long term better reward. And it doesn't matter if you deal with Bible, if you deal with your Christian character, if you deal with your faithfulness to God, your prayer life, if you deal with your exercise. Think about it. A person taking steroids and growth hormone. A person taking steroids and growth hormone will physically blow up, have bigger muscles, feel stronger, look stronger. But long term, they're gonna have more damage to their reproductive organ, especially their scrotum, because they'll damage it. They will have damage to other parts of their body. Their hearts will blow up, get 50%, 100%, 200% the size that it should be, and they'll die earlier. But if you were 20 and you started out on a good healthy diet, and you're eating and you're exercising, by the time you're 40 to 50, most of the people who have started out on that unhealthy diet, taking all the drugs, they're either going to be riddled with disease or they're going to be dead. Most of them going to be dead, are very sick. While you, 20, 30 years later, you're doing great health-wise. Sometimes feeling like you're in your 20s. And I'm saying that from, my experience. And you look at people in their same age, and they just look like garbage. They just look beaten up. So, yeah, you can use the chemicals. And in the beginning, you will feel better than me eating my Wheaties. I don't eat that, but I'm just saying, eating my natural foods and taking my natural supplement. You will initially take off. It's like the story with the race between the turtle and the hare. You just make up a lot of noise and you take off, and it's a lot of stuff, but long term you do better. It's the same thing. If a person come to me and they say, I want to succeed at being a Christian, I want to make it to heaven, I want to have a good life here on earth, I'm going to tell them how to do it. The way to do it is to apply yourself in the beginning and watch the hypocrites make noise, run up and down, and they talk and hit the chest and behave like a gorilla. And you can watch them. And I say, just be patient. Just work with the process. Apply yourself to meditation. Apply yourselves to the study of the Word of God. Exercise self-control. Exercise your faith. And watch the crazies with the hypocrite self and the proud self. And they'll all fizzle out. And by now, if you've been walking with the Lord for a while, many of the people that are full of themselves, they're already out of the church and out there in the world eating pig's food. And that's just the reality, because they don't apply themselves. They live the American dream, instant gratification. They want it all today. And what they get is just the devil beat them up. So it's important for you to know that the long-term effect of natural supplements, of dietary change, of a good diet, you're going to get that. The short-term result is that a person might have taken some chemical derived supplements and vitamins and minerals. And they might seem like they're doing better short term, but long term, it doesn't do anything. It's just going to kill. It's going to poison them. And this is what the article is going to go into next. So I'll keep reading here. I want to take this piece by piece. So here it says it has been an exceptionally difficult to convince people, including nutritional researchers. And so basically I said people need to make a shift and eat more fruits, vegetables, exercise, and avoiding tobacco, alcohol, I'll throw in there also, and period, drugs in general. Americans routinely ignore this advice and gobble up supplements. More than half of Americans take supplements, according to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention, spending $12 billion a year on them. And I might say here, for me, I'm a promoter, maker, seller of supplements, and I'm selling herbal supplements. And so, if you understand, when they say supplements, I'm just taking it, they're talking about coal tar derived supplements, because most of the money spent on supplements in America are supplements that are chemical derived supplements. They are not natural in any way, shape, or form, further away from natural than anything. And the $12 billion being spent a year is $12 billion because people want to eat and drink a certain way and they take a supplement. Continue reading the article here. It says, despite strong evidence that eating 5 to 10 servings of fruits and vegetables a day reduce the risk of cancer, heart disease, Alzheimer's, and a range of other diseases, just 30% of Americans meet this goal, the CDC found. So, because you're listening to me here, by God's grace, you're not part of the other 87%. You're part of the 30%. And every day, if you eat 10 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, you reduce your risk of heart disease, strokes, Alzheimer's, and a range of other diseases. Notice here, I'm at the upper limit. Your bottom should be near top. So if they say 5 to 10 servings, you need to be minimum of 10 servings and up. Because here it says, instead people believe that they can make up for poor diets with supplements, something that has been disproven in several studies. So before let's switch there, think about this, right? One thing that has been coming to my mind, and I realize I must say it more often, is that when I talk about results, I've often figured, or just never really thought about it, because I think it would be obvious to a person that and it's important for you to remind people, if you say you take a supplement, you get a result from the supplement, it is important for you to remember that your result is also based upon your diet. So in other words, a supplement should be a supplement. Your diet is already moving in the right direction, already fixed positively, a healthy way. And the supplement is used to boost that. The supplement is not your diet. So here's what I mean by this. If you're deficient in anything, or you need help because you have a weakness in one part of your body, it's important to note that if I take in something and I say to you, oh no, I take this product or I eat this certain type of food and it helped me with that problem, you should try that too. It's important for me to remind you that yes, I have a plant-based diet, 100% plant-based, or what they normally call vegan. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't take drugs, I don't do all of that don'ts. Plus I do these things, which is, I eat high raw, I exercise, I could say a whole bunch of stuff. Sleep, eat 2 to 3 meals a day, and so forth. And you could go on the list. So, if you're doing all of that, what I just say, and more, and then now you take, say, this herb, and say you're taking the herb, and the herb is, Gota Cola for your memory and your focus. And you're taking Gota Cola, you say to somebody, hey, look, the herb Gota Cola is good. It helps me to have better memory. And the person says, oh yeah, I'm going to take it. but the person is still eating all the pork and they don't exercise and they sit all day long and destroy their brain by watching all the foolish television. The herb will help. I would say to them, take it, but you need to cut back on that TV. Your brain is being fried. It's not the radiation from the TV screen that is frying your brain. It's the things that your eyes are seeing. So first you need to stop frying your brain with that TV, because you see what I'm saying. So somebody say, "Oh, Lord, you sound like your brain is turned over, it's working. There's gears in your head, and they're spinning." I'm like, yeah, but remember, I don't fry my brain with all this crazy TV and entertainment. I don't partake of fictional stuff. So my brain just work more in a factual way. I've trained my brain for facts. You're right. So when I take now ashwagandha, gota cola, ginkgo biloba, it is a supplement. That is not a chemical supplement. It's just food. When I partake of anything with cayenne, not to burn myself up, but just as a supplement, it is just supplement. It's supplemented by diet and lifestyle. So it's important to note that. So as he says, many people want to use various different, like vitamins as a crutch. But that's not what it's there for. It's just a supplement. To supplement what you're already doing for yourself. It's to make up the difference or to boost what you're already doing, diet-wise. So this is here now. I'm going to read this paragraph, which is kind of a crazy statement. Dr. Paul of Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, who criticized the supplement industry in his book, Do You Believe in Magic? The Sense and Nonsense of Alternative Medicine, note that some supplements are harmful, which has been proven. Vitamin A, for example, can cause liver damage if taken in high amounts. So pause there from this doctor here. It's important to note this has been clinically proven in multiple studies. Vitamin A, coal tar derived, is not the same as if you go, say, partake of certain berries, or if you partake of like carrots and stuff like that. So because I don't know if you've ever done this, but you can juice a whole bunch of carrot till it starts showing up on your skin, and it's not going to cause damage. But you can take a whole bunch of vitamin A and it could damage yourself. It becomes a poison because it's coal tar derived. So vitamin A, for example, can cause liver damage if taken in high amounts. So imagine if you're taking a multivitamin and you're not deficient in vitamin A, but then you start taking a vitamin A that now is overpowering the body, and it's actually chemical synthesized. This way you can cause some real poisoning. So probably your body just needs some B12. I say your body deficient in B12, doctors prescribe B12. And you say, well, I'm going to do one size fit all. I'm going to take now a multivitamin that has B12, but also it has all this other stuff that I'm not deficient in. And they're coal tar derived. That's where I believe people can run into problems. As I say, I'm never going to say, hey, look, if you have a B12 deficiency, probably you need to start drinking every day some aloe vera juice or something, to some natural sources to boost it. But if you're in such a clinical problem where you're really deficient and the doctor said, no, you need to take something now before you die. I understand taking the coal tar derived stuff, like the B12 that's from other sources temporarily until you can seek and find other natural source. And that's what I mean. Anyhow, but not taking a whole barrage of stuff that you don't need. One study found that too much vitamin E, which I think I covered this here before in the past, may raise the risk of prostate cancer. Very important, because the vitamin E, you have to know the source, and that it could be damaging to your system. But you can get your same vitamin E from various different nuts and seeds. Because you read it here, it says one study of 40,000 women found a slight higher risk of death in women who take supplements. Right? So that's important to note. And let me see if I can just wrap this article up and get to my what do you call it? My recipe for the morning. So multivitamins are often recommended by a well-intentioned physician, says Alison Haslam and Dr. Vinay Prashad of the Oregon Health Science University University Night Center Institute wrote in a commentary. Unfortunately, the results from a variety of previous studies do not support the practice of multivitamin supplementation for cardiovascular disease and mortality. In other words, the more you take multivitamin, it's not necessarily going to live longer. My experience, as a matter of fact, in the past when I used to take multivitamins, is that it messed up my brain, is that my memory wasn't working well. And if any of you have had that, but I've met other people who have had that. I know my wife has had that experience in the past, independent of myself. And that means before I met her. And you're taking a multivitamin, all of a sudden you start forgetting to lock the door. Because it's like you're frying your body, because your body don't need all that extra stuff. Your probably body just deficient in one stuff. If you really need to know, go to the doctor, let them do a blood test and see what is it you're deficient in, and then do natural supplements for that deficiency. But don't do for every single thing that you don't need. So this has been proven. This includes fish oil supplements. The American Heart Association has separate recommendation of fish oil supplements based on studies showing that they don't reduce the risk of heart disease for average people. Prescription fish oil supplements may help some people with certain specific heart risk or condition, the Heart Association says. Otherwise, food is the best source of nutrients. Notice again, no matter what source you're looking at, food is always the best source. You might not know what source, you might not know the source, so you probably have to take a supplement, but you need to do whatever you can to find a natural source. Until then, you do whatever, is best for you based upon your deficiency as proven by a blood test or something, or a certain natural observation that you make of your body. But you need to find a natural source. So go back to the fish oil. Fish oil supplementation doesn't work. The fish oil comes from a fish, either cod liver, the liver of the cod, or from this fish called mahaden. I think that's the name. Hopefully I'm saying it right. It's a small little fish that they crush and get the oil out of. The problem with it is that after the oil is separated from the liver of the cod or the mahadens, it has to be preserved, and it in itself start going rancid. So I believe probably not so much just the oil itself that is a problem from these fish that is toxic anyhow, because they interact with so much chemicals in the water, but it's because the rancidity of the oil. And I've told people before, you should try this. If you're taking fish oil, crack that thing open and smell the oil. If the oil smell like you wanna puke, then probably you shouldn't be taking it inside of your system. That's just to be, observable knowledge, and if you smell that stuff and stuff like that, you probably should think twice about it. So then somebody should say what to do. What to do is flaxseed, any omega, oils high in omega. The number one is flaxseed, because flaxseed has the same lignans and various different component omega, I think 3, that has that fish oil scent, and it has the same profile. So the plant source for supplementation, if you need vitamins, if you need the omega oils for your heart condition or to calm down your blood vessels, the best source would be buy some organic flaxseed oil and start taking a tablespoon of flaxseed meal a day. So you say you're making a smoothie, you like to enjoy your smoothie, then the first cup you have, mix some flaxseed in it, drink that down. Mix a tablespoon and you drink it down on a daily basis. And then after that, you can go and drink your smoothie or your nut shake. And that's the best way to be for supplementation with vitamin E. But find the natural source. Find the healthiest source, because yes, cod liver oil is natural. Mahaden oil is natural. But they have to catch the fish, process the fish, extract the oil, sell the oil from the manufacturer to the distributor. Then they have to preserve the oil, sell it to you. Most of the time they're sold on a shelf, not in a fridge. And then you have to now take it. That's a long process. And it's an oil that is not like a plant-based oil. It's an oil that is animal-based oil. So the ability for it to go rancid or spoil is very high. So you want to find a source that is most plant-based and easily preserved. And this is why I say to a person, the flaxseed meal, flaxseed oil, flaxseed itself is best. If you have a black pepper grinder, you can grind your own flaxseed. That means you buy the whole seed and you grind it as you go, so you get it in the most preserved state, the freshest state, because it's preserving the seed. And if that's what it is, you're going to find that that's going to be better for your cardiovascular health. It's a better oil. Also, you want to stay away as much as possible from deep fried food. You want to use the best oil, especially oils that are matted for the situation. That means if you're frying or sauteing or baking, you want to use oils that are heat resistant. That means they can tolerate high heat, like coconut oil, because that's better, because you won't be damaged, but you don't want to be sauteing or frying stuff with olive oil. So when you take those things into consideration, you can see that you can get natural sources for your problem. And the more natural, the closer it is to the plant, in other words, what I'm saying, is the better it is, the less it is where it's coal tar derived or something, as I say, like fish, like the mahadin, that you want to stay away from it. So, as you know, food is your best source. Find a source of supplement, natural supplements that are made from food, plant-based, and you're going to find that your body will thank you. Just to close out this article, it says, eat a healthy diet for a healthy heart and a long, healthy life. There is no substitute for a balanced, nutritious diet with more fruits and vegetables, and limit excess calories, saturated fat, trans fat, sodium, sugar, and dietary cholesterol. That means animal-based fat. You do this, it will work for you. So real quickly here, I'm going to share with you the next few minutes. Just here a simple recipe. I'm pulling this recipe from over by my sister's website, and you could just find this recipe. It's a scrambled tofu breakfast recipe, Mexican style. So I choose the Mexican style because it's probably going to have the most stuff in it. What I'm saying basically here is, I can imagine, I was saying earlier, that a person could have a muffin for breakfast, or they could just have an egg sandwich. So egg, 2 slices of white bread, and that's breakfast. Just they fry the egg, probably have it, not too overly fried, and then throw it on 2 pieces of buttered white bread that they toast, and they have it on that breakfast. And then you look at it, and I used to eat like that, and that's why I realized it's a wonder. I lived then, and I'm glad I changed my diet, because I think I'll be dead already eating that type of stuff. So when you think about that now, you substitute it out. To me, it's the same thing. You're just simply having, instead of having a vegan now, could still eat similar to that. They could have a multigrain bread, 2 slices of multigrain bread with some fried tofu. Throw it on the bread, eat it, and that's now almost a perfect substitute, because it's just basically, so it's like basically egg and bread. And if they want to add the sulfur that comes with the egg, they could just get the black salt, and you throw the black salt in it, you get the sulfur taste, so you can get that egg yolk taste, and there you have it. And some little bit of turmeric, and you could get the egg yolk look, and some nutritional yeast. You get the cheesy feet smell, and that's your substitute. It's a perfect substitute. But here with this quick recipe here, and how to find the recipe, it's on Healthier Steps. So HealthierSteps.com, and that's my sister's. It's a vegan, gluten-free website, and she have a whole bunch of recipes here. And so this morning I was thinking to add this recipe, and I said, let me just search it. I know I'm gonna find. I'm almost certain that she had it. So basically, I was looking for just a scrambled tofu recipe, because normally you show some stuff in the scrambled tofu, but she has the Mexican style one and then the regular one. So if you go into Google, you could just put in Mexican style vegan scrambled tofu or Mexican style scrambled tofu and put in Healthier Steps after that. So scrambled tofu, healthier steps, or scrambled tofu, Mexican style, healthier steps. And you pull up the recipe through Google, or you can just go straight to the website, healthiersteps.com. And you'll see this now. Why is this so important? Because this is how now you start to put nutrients in your body. Because remember, my topic is, yes, it is true, you are deficient in nutrients. So even though they're saying, don't take the supplement, the multivitamin, it's important for you to know that you are deficient. You need to do something. So all of this I said to you to say that, because sometimes I get into my article and you could probably figure why I'm saying all this. I'm saying this because you are deficient in nutrients. Something missing in your bodies because you died. So because of this, you need to change the way you eat. So one of the way you change the way you eat is to add more nutrient-rich foods in your regular food. So your regular diet now you add. So this is now this recipe here. She basically take 8 ounces of tofu, which is a pack of tofu cut in half. So half a full pack of tofu. And she drain it, and then she add coconut oil, tablespoon of coconut oil, 2 onions, finely chopped. So you're adding some onions now. So you're gonna get some excitement in your tofu, or your vegan egg. And then she add 4 cloves of garlic. So 4 cloves of garlic, so some more spice for your life. Then 1/4 medium red bell pepper, so a quarter of a red bell pepper. Then 1 cup grape or cherry tomatoes, halved. So you cut the tomatoes in half. Now, one thing you have to be careful when you're cooking with tomatoes, as a tomato can make the recipe a little watery, and it could increase the time that you have to saute. So if you don't want to increase that time, what you could do is cut the tomato in half and squeeze it a little bit. You're going to lose some of the seed. There's where some of the nutrients is at. But you could just cut that tomato, squeeze out some of the fluid out of the tomato. That when you drop it in the pot, you don't have to saute it too much longer, so you get it as fresh as possible, right? Because that's what makes it even nicer. You don't want to dry it out, but so that you want to get rid of some of the fluid before. So anyhow, so 1 cup of grape tomato, as I say, you could just put it half and put it in there, but you could just squeeze out some of the fluid and make it a little bit drier. So when you drop it in there, you don't have to take it too long. And then 1 cup of organic diced tomato, or half cup of tomato sauce. So she want the canned sauce, probably, I'm assuming there, diced, or you could just use a tomato sauce, half cup of tomato sauce, or 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. Then she had some seasoning, paprika, cumin, ground turmeric, all half teaspoon of cumin, half teaspoon of turmeric, and then 1/4 teaspoon of ground turmeric, 1/4 teaspoon of oregano, 1 tablespoon of nutritional yeast, which is optional, 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and salt to taste. She has there half a teaspoon or salt to taste. And so you season that stuff up, and you can even throw in some green onions in there, and then you have that some avocado on the side with some cilantro on the side and some tortilla chips. So you do that for your breakfast. All of a sudden now you're taking something which was before the regular way somebody eat at breakfast like that is just some bread and egg, some butter. Then you could have the tofu and multigrain bread with some butter. Or you could have the same bread or tortilla chips or whatever if you do gluten-free, or you just do it straight vegan. And you throw in there now all these other nutrients, all these other foods, and you chop that up, you saute it, you have that in the morning. And all of a sudden now you have all these other nutrients coming in. And now your diet is on the right direction, going in the right direction. And if you're still deficient in a specific nutrients, then you find a supplement, or you find especially a natural supplement, and you take it on a daily basis with a changed diet. You start going out there, getting some exercise. It's warm outside now, it's great. And you'll find that your body will do so much better. And as I say, yes, it is true, you're deficient in nutrients. Just go ahead and take care of it. Put some excitement in the pot when you're cooking it. Add some more seasoning, some more fruit, vegetables. cook that food, eat that food, and you find that your skin will thank you, your brain will thank you, and the heart especially will thank you. You'll do good. So that's what I want to do. I want to do this and do this in abundance. Let's pray. We thank you, Lord, again for your love and the abundance that you share with us from day to day. Pray, Lord, that we might do everything we can to be more natural, to be more like what you created us to be, and to eat and take care of our bodies more and more the way that you had created us to take care of our bodies. Bless us as we go through the rest of this day. We pray for Christ's sake. Amen. Thanks for being with me here on Revive Reform Radio. Looking forward to talking to you live again tomorrow morning, where we should talk about current events. Until then, I pray that you may continue to walk with the King.